guys, today we're going to be checking out the Working Bees update that is coming out into Grow a Garden in about 1 hour. I don't know. That was mad cheesy, I'm sorry. It's coming out in about an hour from when I'm posting this. It'll probably already be out for you when you see this. Okay, testing server's already restarting. That's cool. I am checking this out early though on the testing server. So this is about 12 or so hours before the update actually comes out. There are things still being altered, things still being changed. The biggest things I have noticed that end up being changed from testing server to live server usually are cooldown times and like sell prices and things like that, or like purchasing prices. So anything about that you kind of see in my video here, I would take with a grain of salt. It might end up changing by the time the update is out for you. Okay, some people want to say hi. Hi! Oh my goodness. Oh, and Janel's sending out messages too. Okay, that was really sweet. So as I was saying, I am on the testing server, but we're going to try and check out everything that is at least potentially going to be added in tomorrow. Before we get into it, I do just want to say I put a lot of effort into these videos. I've had a lot of sleepless nights these past couple of weeks trying to edit these videos in time for the updates. I try to make them as thorough and entertaining as possible for you guys. So if you are not subscribed, please do consider subscribing if you end up enjoying the video, and leave a like too if you enjoyed the video. It lets me know that you appreciate my content as well. So here we go. Let's go ahead and look at the new Working Bees update. 2, 1.
Huh?
So this is the key part of this new update. It is the crafting area. You'll notice too that this replaces the Bee Bear quests. So I'm sorry if you didn't end up finishing that. I'm sorry if you were right in the middle of it, but don't worry. The rewards you get from that are in some senses a little bit easier to get now, and a little more up to you with this crafting update. So if we walk right up here, we still have our Bee Bear, Bear Bee, and you open it up and look at this. We get a little crafting menu with a bunch of different tools. Notice that it is literally all gear, all tools, all eggs, and a pet. We do get a new pet with this, but there's no plants in here. This table back here is where you can get new seeds and plants. For now, we're gonna look here at this main crafting table and see what you can make here, and then I will show you the new plants and the new seed packs you can make over here. But let's open this back up. When you open up this recipe screen, you'll see the item you can make on the left side here. You can see what the item does up here at the top left. You can see the crafting time at the top right. This is important, by the way. I'm going to talk about this in 1 sec. And you can see everything that is required to make it here in this box. So this tropical mist sprinkler increases the growth speed and size bonus for coconut, dragon fruit, mango, cacao, and watermelon. It lasts for 4 minutes. So that's what this tropical mist sprinkler does, and it takes 1 hour to craft. So once you get this started, you cannot use that crafting table until it is done. You can't craft anything else in that table until it is done. So I can craft something here. I could get this started and it'll be busy for an hour, and I can craft something here, but I cannot make 2 sprinklers at the same time, at least as far as I'm aware. So you gotta prioritize, you gotta choose wisely. So that's pretty cool. It requires coconuts, dragon fruits, and mangoes, and a godly sprinkler. I'm gonna need to get on buying more godly sprinklers, because I try to buy them when I can, but I end up missing them a lot. So I'm just gonna go through the rest of these sprinklers really quick. They all have a fairly consistent recipe of a few example fruits or crops, because, like, you know, it's a flower, it's not a fruit, and then a sprinkler. So we have the berry blusher, which greatly increases the size bonus for grapes, blueberry, strawberry, raspberry, and celesteberry, which lasts for 1.5 minutes. Interestingly, this does not last nearly as long as the tropical mist sprinkler. I wonder why that is. And then we have the spice spritzer sprinkler, which greatly increases variant chance bonus for pepper, cacao, and papaya, which lasts for 2.5 minutes. This one's kind of actually expensive. It requires an ember lily to craft. This one also does require a master sprinkler and takes about an hour to craft. It looks like all of these so far have taken an hour to craft. We then have the sweet soaker sprinkler, which increases size bonus for watermelon, pumpkin, and moon melon, and it lasts 5 minutes. And it requires 3 watermelon. Oh goodness. Working bees incoming. They have little and they're all different colors. Wait, is this new? Working bee swarm, 10 times craft speed, higher pollinated fruit chance. So you probably have the same pollinated fruit chance, but you now have 10 times craft speed. I wonder if that counts if you already have something that's being crafted or if you have to start it during the bee swarm. But very cool. I love that they made that change. Okay, let's look back at the sprinklers. We then have the flower froster sprinkler, which freezes flower type plants. Lasts 2.5 minutes. Not to be that guy, I don't think I will ever use this because I can't stand the frozen mutations. I really can't. But it requires an orange tulip, a daffodil, an advanced sprinkler, and a basic sprinkler. It does take an hour to craft though, still. We then have the stalk sprout sprinkler, and this is the last sprinkler I think on here, and it greatly increases growth speed and wets beanstalk, bamboo, and mushroom. Lasts 2 minutes, and it has an hour-long craft time, and it requires a bamboo, a beanstalk, and a mushroom, and an advanced sprinkler. So a little bit expensive. Some of these are kind of harder to find. Let's look at what else we can make in here, because you might have noticed there is a like water gun. There's something brand new in here. We will get to this in a second, by the way. This is a new gear in the base gear shop, base game, non-event item. But we have the mutation spray chocolate. Chalk, and it covers a fruit in chocolate. You can point at something, point at a crop, and cover it in chocolate. And it takes 1 cleaning spray, 1 cacao, and 20 honey. And it takes only 12 minutes to craft, which is really nice. We then have the mutation spray pollinated, which pollinates a fruit. It only takes 5 minutes to craft as of right now, and it requires cleaning spray, bee balm, and 25 honey. Wow, and then we have the mutation spray shocked, which shocks a specific fruit. It does require an entire lightning rod and 250 honey, as well as, of course, the cleaning spray. And it takes 30 minutes to craft. So still not a whole hour like some of the sprinklers are, but that does take a little while. And that's a lot of honey. We're moving past that stuff now and going on to the Honey Crafter's Crate. We have some things we've already been seeing before, non-new items, old items, old. But we can now make the Honey Crafter's Crates, which I think you could only get in the Bear Bee Quests. And it takes 1 bee crate, which of course you get from the Queen Bee Shop, and 12 honey, and it takes 30 minutes to craft. Same goes with the anti-bee egg. Now this, I have some controversial opinions about because it costs a bee egg and 25 honey, and it takes 2 hours to craft. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I 100% understand why you would use a bee egg to make this. There was an old recipe though we saw in some of the leaks. Oh no, don't restart. No! Look at the credits, made it go on 5 more minutes. Huh? Oh, it is. It's literally just the pack bee is left. And this is one of the only 2 pets we get with this update. But we have the pack bee. This is the final thing you can craft here at this main gear crafting table. And the pack bee increases your backpack size by 25. Wow. Here's the thing. It's really expensive. It takes 4 hours to craft, and then on top of that, it needs an anti-bee egg, a sunflower, a purple dahlia, and 250 honey. I'm not sure how to feel about it yet. It's cute though. Kind of reminds me of the new Happy Gas from Minecraft that are coming out and how it's like carrying a little basket with it. And let me know too if this crafting recipe has changed at all by the time the update comes out. So that's everything here at this main crafting table. This is where the goods are, okay? I'm less interested in some of that stuff. I am excited about the bee, don't get me wrong. This though, what? We have a whole new seed pack. It's called the Crafter's Seed Pack. And first of all, just note that it costs a flower seed pack, which again you get from the Queen Bee Shop, and it costs 10 honey. So it's really not that crazy expensive. Technically, it's like 20 honey altogether. There's flower seed packs every time the Queen Bee is restocked. It does take 20 minutes. But look at this. We got all these new plants. We have the crocus, the succulent, the violet corn, the bendboo, the cocoa vine, and the dragon pepper. The dragon pepper is the rarest at a 0.5% chance you'll pull it from these basic default packs. The crocus is by far the most common one, but they all look really cool. And we'll take a closer look at them in just 1 second. But tons of new plants. That's what, 6 new plants? I love it. Then we have a bunch of the flowers that you could get from the Bear Bee quests. We have the Manuka flower, the dandelion, the lumira, the honeysuckle I think was the last one you get in that. And then we have 3 new plants. So all of these now, this is where you get these plants instead of going through the quests and giving in those pollinated and honey glazed crops. I am a little confused why these show the seeds and not the crops for the crafting recipe. Daffodil seed and orange tulip seed. The names aren't any different. So I don't know if this is just a picture error, but I'm kind of curious if this means you actually just have to turn in the seed and not actually grow it. Dandelions, I'm glad we can craft these because I want a bunch of them. It costs bamboo, a manuka flower, but look at this. These are grown bamboos and a manuka flower seed. The Lumira needs some pumpkin, dandelion seed, and a flower seed pack, and 40 honey. And it takes only about 20 minutes to craft. And then the honeysuckle, and this one, a pink lily, and a purple dahlia. Now we have the new 3 other plants. Again, we have a new seed pack and we have 3 new plants. We have the bee balm, the nectar thorn, and the sun coil. I like the name of that one. But the bee balm, it takes a crocus and a lavender and 10 honey. So not the most expensive in the world. Lavender, I think you can get basically every time from the queen bee shop, and it takes 15 minutes to craft. Then the nectar thorn takes 2 cacti, cactus seed as well, and a nectar shade seed, as well as 20 honeys. Then the sun coil, and now I'm assuming this is a rarer kind of plant. It requires a crocus, a daffodil, a dandelion, a pink lily, and 40 honey. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna show you how this crafting thing works because I was kind of surprised by it. We're gonna open up the table. I wanna make one of the crafter's seed packs. So we're gonna click it, and we're gonna click craft, and look at this. Just like with the little bear bee quests where you had to set down an item, it has you do the same thing here. And I'm gonna put it here and submit it. Press E to start crafting, and it costs 10 honey. So I hold it down, and bada bing, bada boom. Look at this. Now I can't use the table. It took away my honey. And it tells me at the time I have remaining, and you can choose to skip it if you want. It costs Robux. Let's go ahead and look at the new flowers, plants you can get from the seed pack, but also that you can craft in this little table. I actually had a bunch in my garden already. Here we are, my mess of a garden. It's messy, but it's beautiful. Okay, look at this. We got a cherry blossom in there. Hello. So the first one is right up, boink. Right here. We have the crocus. Here's the crocus. It's so cute and pretty and purple. It is a single time pick. And we're gonna go ahead and look at how much this sells for on average. How much is it worth? Was that 50,000? Okay, so at least you can make some sort of money making those packs, because you will be pulling a lot of crocuses. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of crocuses out of those seed packs. However, I would love to decorate my whole garden with these guys. They're really cute. Okay, here's where we go into the jungle. Let's go ahead and look at this bee balm. Here it is. My butterfly's hanging out next to it. Hello. We have some big ones. They are not usually this big. Just an exclaimer. This was from a master sprinkler that was being run. Look at this. It's just kind of a little bush, and they sprout out of it. But here's the interesting thing. Oh, they've come to check it out. Look at how cute though. Oh my goodness. You pick a whole little bundle of them. Let's go ahead and see. This one was what? 1.24 kilograms. How much does this sell for? We'll say this is an average size. 27,000. I think this one is so cute. I can see all the little girly pops that decorate their gardens all cute. Absolutely loving this plant. Get little flower clusters, little bouquets. Okay, you probably noticed my nectar thorn already in the back here. It was in the back last time. I thought it was gonna be added in the last update, but look at this thing. So here it is. It is literally just a glowing, like honeycomb kind of structure, little hexagon. I really like that it like glows like that. It almost looks shocked. It is 72,000. And these are some giant ones back here. I don't know if this is average size. This might be a little bit bigger than average. So you can expect it somewhere around there. And I think it does replenish. The sun coil is the next one I'm gonna show you. And this is the other one you can craft in the little seed table. It's kind of a big, this is all part of it. It's kind of a big plant, but a little sun coil. We're gonna pick that, but let me just show you. I had a really big one. Oh Oh! So here's the sun coil. How cool is that? And I know we saw the image already in the table, but I really do like to show off the flowers. And not that it helps you, but I want to see how much this big one is worth. Was this wet? It is wet as well. How much is a big wet one?
Huh?
$1 million. It looks cool. And hey, I'm always happy to have more flowers. Don't do this to me. Not again. I'm gonna show you the last one I actually do have in my garden, and that is the succulent, which you do get from the crafter seed pack. And I think, it's here. Look at this thing. First of all, whoa, kind of like translucent, and then boom, we pick off that thing. Realizing I don't really know how succulents work. I don't know. Bam, whoa, and it's wet. I'm making myself uncomfortable. How much is it worth? I don't know if this is an average size or not, but it's $96,000. There you go. Those are the ones I have in my garden. And what I'm gonna do now is just kind of show you some of the footage I got checking out other people's gardens. You'll notice some clips here too are some weird plants that were just out in the middle of the testing server as well. The devs were clearly messing around with the models a little bit, but I got to look at the violet corn, the, what was it? Beanboo? What was it? The Benboo! The Benboo, the cocoa vine, and the dragon pepper had a giant collection of Benboos that were literally like into the sky. They were so ginormous. It would be so good for like an obby for some parkour. And the cocoa vines were cool too. It was definitely like a vine with some like little coconut type little balls that you could pick from it. And then the dragon pepper just kind of looked like a fancier version of our usual pepper, which I really like. And I'm gonna bet that that sells for a pretty decent amount. The violet corn is cool too. I liked how it looked. It just kind of looks like a fancier version of the corn we already have. And Kinetic did just give me a violet corn that we are gonna see. Look at this thing, holy moly. Yeah, that's violet all right. We're gonna see how much this sells for. How much is this worth? $83,000. I'm at that point where there's so many plants in the game that I actually don't know if that's a good price or not. It's pretty decent, especially since I do think it is replenishable. And it's an exclusive kind of plant. So that's just about all of the new plants. I'm gonna also put up some footage here for you of the cooked owl pet. This is the other new pet that has been added into the game, and I think you can only get this in this 1 hour window directly before the update releases. There's gonna be some special admin events going on, and that's usually when this sort of stuff is released. Wow, I just really, holy, oh my goodness. But the cooked owl is really unique because it actually introduces 2 new mutations to the game. This was just someone's random cooked owl, by the way. It was age 16. This was probably like base general average stats. Every about 15 minutes, it has a 15.84, about 16% chance to cook a nearby fruit. It is usually burnt, but it is occasionally cooked. All active pets gain an additional 0.2 XP per second. Also very tasty. That part wasn't needed. That part wasn't needed. The pet's a little scary to look at. I don't know how much I'm gonna have this out in my garden because it feels like it's being tortured as it walks around in my garden. Like its very existence is torture. I don't think it was supposed to be in this world, but I'm excited that we get a new pet. So, oh, and I also got some footage of the pack bee. So here you go. We already know what it does. It's cute. That's cute. I think it's cute. It's just kind of like a little bee with a little basket and a little construction hat. So what is there not to like, you know? So I think that is everything event related that has been added. We do have some base game items though. The first being a new prismatic seed. Let's go over to the seed shop. Can you imagine if it was in stock right now? Okay, it's not. But the sugar apple, look at this. We got the Ember Lily last week, which I still only have one of. I keep missing the restocks. We now have the sugar apple, which is a prismatic rarity. It's probably gonna be pretty expensive. I think the Ember Lily is what, 15 mil? This might just be 20 mil. And actually I have something kind of interesting to show you. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but Joseph was one of the people who was on earlier. You might have seen him in one of the clips. He was just a tester who was very sweet and willing to show me some of this stuff. Shout out, Joseph. Thank you for being so kind to me. He gave me 2 sugar apples to look at. Here is the standard one, like you just saw in the seed shop. And let's see how much this sells for. 79,000. Okay, and I think that was supposed to be around base price. But look at this too. This one's purple. Well, red, violet. You actually, I don't think can find these anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section below if you get a sugar apple tree and you have both the purpley and the green ones growing. But it sounds like maybe this got patched. This was an early like idea. Maybe they'll end up adding it in. I don't know. I remember being confused about this earlier. 48,000. Not a ton of money from this, but here's the clip right here. It's a cool looking tree. There was a couple different looks at it. There was some from Joseph's garden. Again, thank you, Joseph, for letting me walk through all your stuff. There was like kind of like randomly in the middle of the map, the devs were messing around with the models, and that was there too. It's not just some retextured apple tree, which thank goodness, because no offense to the apple trees, they're one of my least favorite plants in the whole game. It's pretty cool. New prismatic. Hopefully it won't be too hard to find. Hopefully it'll be in stock within the first day. So we have that, and finally we have the cleaning spray. I know I mentioned it at the beginning and then I didn't show it until now, but here we go. It's here in the gear shop. Cleaning spray. I think this is gonna be like the favorite tool and the harvest tool that is just always in stock. It's always an option available. It's a lot of money. It's 15 mil, but that's less than the favorite tool and the harvest tool. Here's the thing. A lot of them will be in stock at a time and they each have 10 uses, but it cleans off all mutations from a fruit. I'm really grateful that this is an option at all. I don't want to remove all the mutations though. Can I just remove the frozen mutations? I don't want giant ice blocks around my garden anymore. I'm still very, very glad that this is an option. But this, I'm curious what people end up using it for, how often people end up using it. For right now, I think it's gonna be the most useful for the crafting recipes, for getting that like shocked one and the pollinated one and the chocolate one, for putting specific mutations on your plants. Oh, dude, this thing is lethal. Oh my goodness. What's something that's kind of wacko in here? There's a pollinated watermelon. Oh, hey, and it's frozen. Ugh. Let's get rid of that. You just look at it, just like the favorite tool. You're just gonna do a little click and it's gonna do its thing. Beep.
Wow.
Everything's gone. Just like that. Easy peasy. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed this update and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you feel informed though. I hope it helps you out. My main goal every time I post these videos is that hopefully it will guide you in the right direction. Again, cooldowns, sell prices, probably crafting recipes are gonna change, but thank you for being here. Please do subscribe if you're not already, and if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like maybe. I'll see you around. Goodbye!